hello today to Michel Hogan, Principal and Founder of Brandology, a company who helps other companies with their brand. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, Fiona.
Today I was hoping we could look at how you help clients to give their brand teeth. You know that thing about making it stick, making it work, giving it teeth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, there are so many bland brands out there, and I mean really.
Really, yeah.
What are some of the practical ways that you help your client to get a bitey, sticky brand out there in their market space?
Well, one of the biggest things I think organisations that do have bitey, sticky brands do, that the ones that don't do, is actually stand behind what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know, in some way. When I talk about giving it teeth, I really talk about make it, you know, give it bite, make it something that has consequences, both for you and for the customer. So it's not just enough to say, oh, well, will we guarantee this, or we warranty this, or we stand behind this, or any of the euphemistic language that everybody uses, because what's behind those things is generally completely toothless. And
there's always a fine print, isn't there, that says in this circumstance
coded
we
and
won't.
qualification, and even worse than that, the original statement is always slanted to the company, right? So, it gives those loopholes. It's, they're most of those things are a bit like Swiss cheese. And it really annoys me because it is so easy and costs so little. The fear for a lot of organisations is if we do that, if we give it some teeth, if we make ourselves accountable to what we're saying and to what we say we stand for, that people will take advantage of it, that customers will come back and they'll claim stuff that isn't true.
And some will, won't they? It's true
one
that
or
there is
two.
a proportion of the population that probably makes this sort of their professional business
course,
to be annoying.
Of course, there's a few of those people out there. There's always
most of
those
us are
customers.
too busy surely for this.
And most people actually behave with integrity and are pretty honest about it. And they won't try and take advantage. The few that do are the few that do, but really is that any reason to deny the rest? Okay, so you've got a few bad behaving clients, and I have a little term I use for those types of customers. I call them customerzilla. And customerzillas are these people who you can never make happy. It doesn't matter what you do. You can try everything. You're not going to make them happy. And so those are the ones that you've got to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it annoys the hell out of me that companies just stand by this sort of inanely why
the customer is always right.
The customer is always right. The customer is always right. Well, actually, no. Sometimes the customer's an idiot.
And
sometimes
very wrong.
a dickhead, and sometimes they're really wrong, and sometimes you should fire their asses and never to be seen again. And I'm just actually waiting one day. I think I'm just sitting there waiting for the headline one day that some airline somewhere, because they seem to attract customerzillas more than just about anybody, will actually fire a customer and say, "I'm sorry, you're never flying us ever again. I don't care. Go bother somebody else." A good friend of mine has a great saying. She said she does with customer loyalty, and she said, you respectfully and gently put your arm around those customers' shoulders and walk them to your competition, and leave them there happily. Let them be somebody else's problem, and this idea that those few bad eggs, those few bad apples are a justification for not standing behind and not putting together something that's got teeth, I think is just pathetic.
Is that a classic avoidance behaviour, do you believe, that companies, instead of confronting the issue, i.e. a customer that they really don't want, and the uncomfortableness of walking them to the opposition, they'd actually prefer to run and hide?
I think there is a little bit of that. But also, I think it is this ingrained thing that all customers are good customers, and that we should, that we need to take everything that comes through the door because it might not be there tomorrow. And there's a lot of that at play as well, which is unfortunate. I mean, back to the teeth thing for a minute though, I was just reminded one of the recent examples of something totally without teeth that came out. I think Jetstar came out with a customer charter.
Yes.
It was sort of, do it or the government will do it for you. But the whole thing is just ridiculous because, even one of their key charter promises, which was that they will let you know if your flight changes, and they'll let you, they'll tell you what your new information is using whatever the contact point you gave them. So if you said email, they'll email you. If you SMS, they'll SMS you. But the kicker for me was in the rider on that, right? Which was, and if we don't do this, all you have to do is contact us and we'll give you a $50 voucher.
Right.
Okay, so I'm responsible for making sure that you do what you say, ultimately what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
That's not a customer charter.
No, that's making you responsible as the customer for their stuff.
That's business situation normal. That's sort of same shit, different colour. It just made me laugh so hard because I'm like, a real customer, a real warranty has teeth. A real warranty has consequences.
Yeah.
And it's clear as to when it's enacted and what those consequences are.
How do you know your brand hasn't got enough bite? When is it obvious?
I think it's obvious if people just really fundamentally don't care. When a brand is something that people care about, when people know what they stand for, know what it stands for, when they are engaged with it, when they become that loyal customer, when they stick around, that's a signal that you're doing something right, that things are going in the right direction. If people are telling their friends about you, if you've got good word of mouth, all of those things are signifiers of a brand with some bite that is doing it right. If nobody can be bothered, you have no teeth. You have no teeth. If nobody, and more than that, if you have really bad retention, I think that's actually, for me, customer retention is a huge canary in the coal mine.
That's the indication.
That's
a
huge one. The other big canary in the coal mine is not just customer retention; it's employee retention. Because brands with bite also are brands that people want to work for. People want to work with it. They want to be part of it. They want to be around it. So if people don't care, if you're posting a job ad and getting 2 people applying, you might want to look at what you're doing. But
get some teeth.
Yeah, go find some teeth.
Thank you for your time today, Michelle.
No worries, Fiona. Thanks.
I've been speaking to Michel Hogan from Brandology, and we've been talking about the whole idea of giving brand teeth.